messing with some raw dudes, wrestling, talking, raw views, previews, recaps, and interviews. Definition of professional, tell me what you expected though. Facts are checked when information's collected, yo. We body slamming all these wrestling brands, but of course that's the case when A&T's on hand. We going head to head, this ain't a ratings war. Now's your chance to chat with Steven, what you waiting for?
Welcome everyone to another episode of Raw Views. This is the SmackDown recap show from SmackDown on February the 26th. Yes, February the 26th. And I just want to jump directly into this. First off, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. We are almost at 100 subscribers already, just over 2 weeks. I think it is 2 weeks to the day today where I did my first video, which was a takeover recap show. This morning I did drop a news episode. If you'd like to go check out my thoughts on the NWA, Ethan Page, and Enzo and Cass, you can do that. Just go in. It's the last video I recorded and posted. And if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button and comment below, because I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. SmackDown's perfect. SmackDown is the perfect wrestling show, and I'm going to tell you why. It has every layer that you want. It has a tag division, a proper women's division, a singles division, a mid-card, and a star at the top that everybody's chasing. I mentioned on one of my shows, it is so much easier to do a wrestling show when you have a top quality star. It pulls everybody up. Roman Reigns right now is operating on a level that nobody else in wrestling is. That is not a dig at Kenny Omega or Jay White or Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley or Jacob Fatu or any other major champion in any major promotion. This is just Roman Reigns is elevated above everybody else. He has finally gotten, he is the closest thing right now in wrestling we have to a mainstream crossover megastar. He's it. He is the top guy in all of wrestling. And what happens when you have that guy at the top, you can pull everybody up to you, right? Like, if you think about it right now, you have Seth Rollins working in the number 2 or number 3 spot on the card. Seth Rollins, who just not too long ago defeated Brock Lesnar, was WWE champion, facing Drew McIntyre, the WWE champion. He is now in the number 2 or 3 spot on the card, and it's not because he's not good enough to be the first spot. It's because Roman at the top spot makes everybody have to chase him artificially, right? So right now you have Daniel Bryan chasing him, and it's magic. Like, if you watch Daniel Bryan's Talking Smack segment with Paul Heyman, Kevin Owens did the same thing, and he's another guy that could be a 1A or a 1B on any wrestling show in the world. And right now, he's having to play second or third fiddle. And if you think about back to the Attitude Era, right? Back in those golden days of wrestling, or even back in the golden era, the Ruthless Aggression era, you always had a guy that elevated above everyone else. And then you had all these mega talented guys or gals chasing that top person. Right? You had Hogan, you had Warrior, Savage, DiBiase always chasing him. You had Austin, you had Rock, Triple H, Taker chasing him. You had John Cena, you had CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton chasing him. And now we have reached that on another level with SmackDown and Roman Reigns. You have Roman Reigns, you have Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens chasing him. Those are the guys that are now in that upper mid card with Roman at the top, and that is why this show always feels so easy. It's the Roman Reigns effect. It's the star effect. Because when you can put a star of a show in 2 segments every single night, or at least have the main story of your show surrounded by your biggest star, everything else just falls into place. Take, for instance, the tag division. We bang on WWE's tag division all the time. They just turned Otis and Gable heel, and it's working. It's working so well. And now look, you have the Street Profits, you have the Dirty Dogs, you have Gable and Otis. You no longer have Cesaro and Nakamura, but you do also have I'm going the Mysterios, right? So you have the Mysterios as well. That's a proper tag division. 4 or 5 teams on a 2-hour show, that's fine because you can always interchange out some others, right? Right, like Nakamura and Cesaro esque. You could always do something with Sammy and Corbin. They just did something with them as well. They took on the Street Profits. The tag division is working on SmackDown. When you have a tag division that can eat a segment or two a night, get multiple guys on screen, it works. You're also gonna have the Usos coming back at some point. Um, and then let's look at the mid card, right? You have Big E, a working champion, a guy who a babyface worker as mid card champion always tends to go really, really well. Big E's that guy. But look also in that mid card, you have Shinsuke Nakamura, you have a recently turned Apollo Crews, you have Sami Zayn, you have Baron Corbin. The mid card of SmackDown is just working so well right now, and a large reason of that is because those guys are getting an opportunity to showcase their talents every single week. So now you have a mid card, you have a tag division, you have the main event scene all taken care of. Now let's take a look at the women's division. You have Sasha Banks, who can carry a feud on the microphone or in the ring. You have Bianca Belair, who's a new, fresh face added to the division, who is, I mean, exceptional in everything she does. You also have Bayley. You have Carmella, who's a fantastic character as well. Everything right now on SmackDown is clicking, and it's perfect. It is the perfect wrestling show. I can't remember the last time I watched it and I didn't enjoy it. I can't remember the last time I watched it and didn't say, everything made sense. Everything's really good. Um, it's just great. And right now you have Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns gonna wrestle at Fastlane. I mean, think about that for a second. You have Cesaro getting, what is essentially a main event esque push, being in a feud with Seth Rollins. Um, and let's dive in here. We'll first jump in with Daniel Bryan. He takes on Jey Uso. This coming week, he's going to take on Jey Uso in a cage. If he wins, he gets Roman Reigns at Fastlane for the title. Of course, I think he's going to win this Friday. I think he's going to feud with Roman Reigns. I think that is the clear path. And then it's after that what happens. Well, I think you could see Jimmy Uso come back in the picture. I think you could see Kevin Owens get involved. I really think we are on a path to Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan versus the Usos at WrestleMania, which, how cool is that? A major tag match that makes sense within the bounds of a story that has been told over the course of months. Not only that, but you would get Kevin Owens in a major match, you would get the Usos in a major match, and Daniel Bryan in a major match all at WrestleMania behind a well thought out and built story, leaving you with Roman Reigns and Edge as well for the championship. I dig it. I love the fact they're allowing Roman Reigns to get another big victory on the way to WrestleMania. I wouldn't have him lose, by the way, to Edge at WrestleMania. I really wouldn't. I'd let him run as this big mob boss heel for as long as I possibly can. Genuinely, as long as I can possibly get away with it, I'm doing it because it's working right now. But I think Daniel Bryan wins this Friday. I thought his match with Jey Uso was very good on SmackDown. Again, not only are you getting lots of people getting time and good stories being told on the show, but you're getting good matches as well. I mean, again, it's why this show works so well. It's why everybody touts it as the best show. It's probably also why it's the most watched show every week on television. Um, it's just perfect. SmackDown's perfect. Let's move to Sasha and Bianca and how I think this story is going to unfold. You do have Reginald there as well. I think he probably plays a part in this at WrestleMania. My guess is they're going to give Sasha the win at WrestleMania. She's like 0-6 or 0-7 at Mania. I think she ends up beating Bianca at WrestleMania, maybe with the help of Reginald and turning heel in the process. I compared it last week to AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Their feud going into Mania, and then what happened afterwards with the heel turn by Nakamura. Except I think the champion retains and then turns heel as well, or turns heel in the process of retaining. But I think they're both baby faces rolling into this. And as I said last week in my WrestleMania predictions, I think this will main event night one. I think for a multitude of different reasons, this should and will main event night one. Um, I would genuinely be shocked if they didn't. Also on the card, Seth Rollins, Cesaro. I think they're telling a really good story. I think they're giving Cesaro an opportunity. Those who have been clamoring for Cesaro to get a um, a big spot on the card, I think you're getting it right here. I think you're getting it with Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is a bona fide star. He has a huge history with Cesaro. Daniel Bryan, there's no secret to that. He's been helping book the show. He wants to push Cesaro. Cesaro could possibly get a one-on-one match with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and I'm not sure we could have expected anything equal to that just a few months ago. Just a few months ago, nobody would have said he would be fighting somebody the caliber of Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and it will be an incredible matchup if that's the route they choose to go, because the two can work and they have history and they have chemistry in the ring. Um, I just think that that story as well can be told so well with Seth just telling Cesaro, just embrace this vision. If you really want to become a main eventer, you just have to listen to me. I think there could be a really good story there, because Cesaro has been, held, quote unquote, held down for so long, and Seth has been pushed to the moon for so long, that there's something in that, and then there's something that Cesaro would want to listen to. Just as a person, him looking at Seth and saying, "Well, you've accomplished all this, and I haven't. Should I listen? Should I listen to him and turn my back on the fans?" It'll be very interesting. Also, the tag division. I don't get to talk a lot about tag divisions with WWE because they don't do a lot of them very well. Except for MSK. Everything MSK has done so far has been absolutely perfect. Otis and Gable, I love it, and I actually think we're going to move to a four-way tag match at WrestleMania that's going to give a lot of these guys shine, and they're all going to deserve it. Same with the Intercontinental Championship. I think we're going to get a multi-person ladder match or a multi-person match in some regard, and they're all gonna have earned it. They're all gonna have earned their spot on this. Again, if you watch SmackDown, if you wonder why people are so impressed with it, it's the top to bottom storytelling and in ring performance and balance of show. It has the best balance of every show that you watch. I don't care if it's Raw, AEW, MLW, Impact, the NXT, Ring of Honor, any of them. This has the best balance of everything: character work, in ring work, tag work, mid card, main event, women's. It is just perfection up and down the card. And that's it. That's all I have for you today on my SmackDown recap show. It's a little bit shorter than normal. SmackDown's a little bit shorter of a show. Let me know below what your favorite part of SmackDown is right now. It's not a show that unfortunately I don't get to watch live. Um, but I do catch it every single weekend, and then I try to tweet about it because it is so good. Um, Let me know below, what is your favorite part of SmackDown? Do you agree? Is it the perfect wrestling show? Because I believe it is right now. I believe that, again, if you look at everything, if you look at the balance of the show, and I think that's really what it is. It's the balance of the show. Raw seems a little singles heavy sometimes. Dynamite seems a little tag heavy sometimes and lacking in the women's division. NXT seems storyline depleted at sometimes, personality depleted at sometimes. But with SmackDown, everything just fits so well together, and I think the reason why, the differentiating factor between SmackDown and everybody else, is SmackDown has a clear star on their show in Roman Reigns that brings everybody up. And that's it. That's all I have for today. Make sure you tune in back tomorrow. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and again, comment below. What is your favorite part of SmackDown? Why do you watch it every week? I'd be interested in seeing those, and I'll respond to everybody. You can find me on Twitter at view_raw. And until next time, be awesome.